Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. Chelsea are playing Fulham in our penultimate pre-season friendly before Borussia Dortmund at the beginning of August. We're in the studio again. We have got the desk about to come up here in a bit. The Wi-Fi is installed. If you are not yet subscribed to the George Benson football channel, now is the time to do so. We've got a few more weeks of the transfer window. Then we've got Liverpool at home in the Premier League opening game. And this is your final chance now. I'm going to be announcing the winner of the giveaway on Monday or Tuesday for the 2 Liverpool tickets. So if you've not yet joined the Telegram, top link in the description. This is your final chance to do so, giving away 2 VIP tickets to Chelsea versus Liverpool. But before we get too carried away of ourselves, 2 wins, 1 draw, and no defeats so far for Mauricio Pochettino. Wrexham was kind of like an easy segue into pre-season. Chelsea playing football again. League 2 opposition. We score 5 goals. We don't look like conceding. It gets everyone excited. Then we go and play a team in Brighton, renowned as being one of the better sides in the Premier League last season. De Zerbi, they play good football. Chelsea score 4. Yes, we concede 3. But it's one of those games again where we concede a penalty, a couple of late goals. It's pre-season, slight fitness teething issues, but Chelsea dominate the majority of the match. Newcastle, 1-1 draw. Good game again. Chelsea playing well, starting very well. Nicholas Jackson, the new striker, looking like the rebirth, the regeneration of Didier Drogba. And against the Newcastle team who finished in the Champions League places last season, also playing a very strong team, Chelsea are in a very comfortable position. Not only that, but we've just gone and made another bloody signing. I took a day off yesterday. It's the first day off I've taken in a couple of weeks. And we have signed Ugo Chukwu from Rennes. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't know anything about him. I'm not going to sit here and try and tell you that, yeah, I watched a lot of him at Rennes last season in France, and he's a bloody world beater. But many people are saying he is the rebirth of Patrick Vieira, which is why in 2022, Arsenal wanted to sign him. But it turns out that never went through because now he's a Chelsea player. It's here we go. I'm only going to be doing the preview before the game today, but obviously we're going to talk about this guy when we find out a bit more information. It's not small money that we're talking here. It's around £20 million, 23 or 27 million euros. This is a big signing for Chelsea. He's still incredibly young, but the question is he going to be coming in as we're not signing Caicedo anymore because we've just bought this guy, or is he coming in to be loaned back to France in Strasbourg because Chelsea are still working to get the deal done for Moises Caicedo? We're going to have to wait and see, but at least we're doing these deals like the Ugo Chukwu. I can't even remember how to say his name. I have to keep looking at my phone every bloody time. This came out of nowhere. Chelsea getting their transfer business done under the noses of everybody else. I'm surprised. I did not see this one coming, but obviously he's only just being signed. He needs to pass medicals and everything. Here we go is confirmed, but will he be the midfielder because we're not signing Caicedo anymore? That is what I'm very interested to see. But the other news, Gabriel Slonina is heading to Belgium on loan for the season. I think it's good. I think this absolutely confirms that Chelsea will be in the market for a goalkeeper during this summer transfer window. Kepa is my starting keeper today. Bettinelli, I don't really think there's much point in Pochettino picking him for any of these games in pre-season because he's the goalkeeper that if something was to happen, like what happened with Petr Cech and Kudacini, when Chelsea were playing against Reading all of those years ago where JT ended up in goal, Bettinelli really is there for the vibes. Kepa is currently the number 1, but with Slonina going, I think this definitely puts Chelsea in the market for a number 2 goalkeeper. Is it going to be the kind of price range for a keeper where that goalkeeper's good enough to put pressure on Kepa Arrizabalaga at Chelsea? Or are Chelsea actually going to change our minds on what we said at the beginning of the window where we turn our noses up at the price for Andrey Onana? We look at Mike Maignan of AC Milan and say, well, that's just too much money. And then we end up starting with Kepa. Pochettino has said He anticipates that Kepa will be the number one for the start of the season. He's happy with what he's seen from him so far during the transfer window and during the start of this pre-season. But Kepa begins in goal. We move into a back four of Reece James, Thiago Silva, Levi Colwill and Ben Chilwell. I've been very impressed so far with both Bashir Humphreys and Trevor Chalobah. I think when we look, and if you haven't seen the previous video here on the channel, I did a depth chart video. It looks a little bit like this, and we can see here that, in my opinion, there's still quite a few spaces for new Chelsea signings. But with Humphreys and Chalobah, as long as Chelsea don't try and sell Trevor Chalobah and then execute a loan for Bashir Humphreys, I think we've got good depth in those centre-back positions. Levi and Silva. As it is only 2 more games left in this pre-season tour, I think Pochettino is going to try and use more of the team that he could envisage having against Liverpool as his first starting 11 in the Premier League. Fulham as well. They're no joke. Silva had an amazing offer. Their manager from Saudi Arabia, he said no because he clearly sees something happening here at Fulham after a good year last season. It's a good challenge. At the beginning of the pre-season tour, I was thinking, well, maybe it would be nice to play against some teams we've never heard of, against players that we've never heard of. But playing against these Premier League opposition, I think with Brighton, Newcastle and Fulham, there is a good balance there between all 3 of those different opponents. And I think we're going to go with something very strong to start the game. Moving into my midfield pivot, I've decided I want to see Andrey Santos and Cesare Casadei together. I think if we see the two together, Pochettino can learn a little bit about who is more comfortable in an outright defensive role and naturally who ends up getting further forward, who is the one to actually link up with that front four between Casadei and Santos. I think with Enzo, we know that he's going to have a massive role to play in this team, whether it is Caicedo, whether it's the new midfielder from Rennes, or is it going to be one of Santos or Casadei that plays alongside Enzo at the beginning of the season for Chelsea? I kind of see this game as being a bit of a shootout between both of those two players, Santos, Casadei. Whoever impresses the most, I really think at this point in time, with Chelsea still not signing Caicedo, with this new midfielder, is he going to go out on loan? Is he going to stay? It is right now between Santos and Casadei, in my opinion, as to who plays in that pivot position. Chukwuemeka, Gallagher, they've had really good pre-seasons, but I don't see either of them playing in that pivot. I think with Pochettino, there will be a lot of fluidity. I think there will be a lot of opportunities for the likes of Chukwuemeka, Gallagher to kind of play those rotating roles where one goes deeper, one gets a bit further forward to assist with the attackers. But I think Casadei and Santos right now fit the profile to play alongside Enzo a little bit better than the other two. We move into my front four. Noni Madueke, we've seen him on the ball, doing little keepy-uppies with his teammates and stuff in training videos. Christopher Nkunku, who's made a really good start to life at Chelsea. Ian Maatsen, who I just cannot wait to see play football. Every time we see him, be it right wing, left back, the man can do it all. And I would start him with, obviously, Nicholas Jackson, the man who I think we've all fallen in love with over the course of the last 10 days, 2 weeks or so. Jackson is up front. I want to talk about Christopher Nkunku a little bit here, first of all, because as much as he scored 2 goals, he's not really getting involved that much. And yes, it's pre-season. I'm not criticising him here. I think it's been a really good start. And maybe Nicholas Jackson has just stolen the show a little bit because he's got 3 assists. He's also getting on the score sheet. Scored a brilliant finish against Newcastle. With Nkunku, I think he doesn't necessarily need to be at the focal point, the centre of everything, because at the moment, across the whole Chelsea team, the work rate is incredible. Pochettino has got the players fighting right now. The players are playing with a pre-season intensity. I don't remember the last time we saw this. I do not remember the last time Chelsea have looked so fit and healthy. We know that Pochettino likes to put his threat players through their paces in the early stages of pre-season. Now that people are getting match minutes, we're not seeing 11 changes at half-time, 2 different teams from Poch. Even in the first pre-season friendly, we saw him making changes. Of course, it is pre-season. People have got to get minutes. He's got to see what he's got to work with. But more importantly, I think we're seeing the identity of this Chelsea team And a lot of that is absolutely being facilitated by the hard work that's being put in. Ian Maatsen, I'd like to see more of Mudryk. I think we might see maybe Maatsen start the game in a forward role and then move back into a defensive role for maybe 15, 20 minutes start of the second half. That's what I'd like to see. I would love to see Mudryk also come on. I think he's got to do a lot more work off the ball. When he's on it, he looks exciting. He's trying to get shots away. He's popping them off from outside the area, playing with a confidence that we didn't see between January and May of last season when Chelsea first bought Mudryk from Shakhtar Donetsk. I'm going to give my score prediction now. I think Chelsea will win this game against Fulham. I'm going to stick with the prediction I gave against Newcastle. I'm going to say 3-1. I think Fulham will score. I think Chelsea will score a couple more. I think Fulham are not as good of a team as Newcastle are. And the way that Chelsea have been attacking, it's just so nice to be doing these match previews again for a Chelsea team where you expect us to score goals because of the way that we're playing football. The build-up is good. It's fluid, it's dynamic, and there are players out there desperate to impress Chelsea fans and Mauricio Pochettino, with Liverpool only 2 weeks away. I'm buzzing for it. Let me know your thoughts on my Chelsea starting 11. What do you want to see from Pochettino's Chelsea in this friendly against Fulham? 6 things we learned will be out immediately after the game. Don't think I'll be in the studio. I think I'll be back to the kitchen for this one because it's going to be super early in the morning. And I've still got to wait for the flipping aircon before I roast to death here like a bebek on a spit. That's a duck, for those of you that don't speak Indonesian, which is the majority of you. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Come on, you Blues.